Hey everyone, happy Friday. Thanks so much for joining me today for another fun fold. We are going to make a triangle flap fold card, and I believe Priscilla from Priscilla's Papercrafts is the originator of this fun fold, because I haven't really seen any others out there, and she kind of created the name for it, so I'm thinking she created the whole fold. So it's really cute. It's got the flap and then the triangle. Isn't that fun? Very easy to make. I made this card using, let me get all the good stuff, the Gathering Together Designer Series paper. I love this paper. And we're running out of fall time. We're going to be into winter stuff very soon, so I figured I'd better use it up. And then I'm using, I think this branching out bundle coordinates so well with this paper, and I love this set. It's really beautiful. And then I use the big die, or the smallest of these dies for the sentiment, and then I just die cut a couple of these other things out of coordinating paper. So this is Cajun Craze and Crushed Curry, which are colors in here. So this is really fun and easy. I also added some Cajun Craze and gold dots, and then some of this early espresso linen thread. So this card I'll leave out here, and we are going to use other products. I'm pulling out the Charming Floral Charm. I'm looking at Charming Day as the stamp set. I'm going to use this paper. I love this paper. I love all the florals, and they are kind of a fall look, right? The colors of them. And then we're going to use the Charming Day stamp set, and there are also dies. So I'm die cutting some of these out, and then we're using the Gathering Leaves embossing folder. So these are the products for today. And I have the pieces cut. So we're going with Old Olive. Oh, that doesn't look good. Let me get another one. I pulled this out of my stash, and I'll have to use this for other stuff. I'll be right back. Okay, let's try this again. We're using Mossy Meadow, and then we're going to use this on the inside piece. I love both sides of this. So, and then I have this piece for the front. So this is what I'm calling the inside, and then this is the front. So we're going to use that. And then I have these other pieces, and we'll get to that in a few minutes. So the first thing we'll do is score our 5.5 by 8.5 piece of cardstock. I have my trimmer here, and we're going to put our cutting blade, the dark blade, up and use the light blade for scoring. We're going to score it at 4 1/4. Pretty standard. And we'll put this aside, and actually let's do the cutting here, and then we'll fold it. So now we're going to go from the score line to the point, okay? And that's going to give us our triangle fold. So right from the score line to the point. All right, and we're just going to close this down and cut it, and you could use that for scrap. All right, so then we can fold this, and we'll burnish it in a minute. Then this is our inside piece, so this is going to come here. It's going to stay as is. Then this piece we're going to cut in a diagonal, and you have to go from the left, top left, to the bottom right. If you go this way, you're going to end up with your triangles on the wrong side, and they'll be upside down. And so if it is a directional paper, you're only going to get one of these. This one was not directional, so I could probably make 2 cards out of this, but this one, and I'll show you when I cut it. So we're going to go point to point, top left to bottom right. We're going to just put the points in the little groove here, and I don't like to start at a point. I start in the middle, because sometimes the blade will push the point and kind of make it kind of crummy. All right, so now we have these pieces, and I'm going to put this aside because we are going to use it one more time, or a couple more times. So see, this is going to fit right like this, but see this other piece, it would be upside down. So you can do something with this to you know, use it another way. Maybe put it like this on another card and have white down here. So it's not totally a waste, but, or maybe you could die cut it or something like that, or use the back. Actually, we're going to do some, I've already done it, but that would be a good thing to die cut these leaves out of it. So hang on to this, don't get rid of it. But we're not going to use it for this card. Okay, let's burnish this. And then we're going to adhere this. And I'll use my liquid glue to get up in those points up here. Sometimes it's hard to do that with when you are using like a tape runner type thing, like my Seal Plus, which I love. All right, so this is going to come here. And it might be easier to do it this way so we can see. We want to kind of have an even border all around. Okay. And then this piece, I'll use my Seal Plus. Oops, throwing it around here. And we'll put this down right here. And this is Timid Tiger. I'm not sure I'm crazy about it against the Mossy Meadow, but I think it pulls it together once you see this pattern, right? So the next thing we're going to do, and this is probably the hardest part, but it's not that bad, actually. We're going to create this flap, okay? So we have a piece of, this is Mossy Meadow, and this piece is 8 by 3, and we're going to score it at 4, just to right in half, right? So we'll score it at 4. And I will have all these instructions in a PDF below. There'll be a link to something called a project sheet. And I actually have a diagram of this part in it because it's a little bit, not that it's tricky, but what we want to do is get a ruler out, and we're going to do some measurements and then cutting to create this. Now, if you have a die or something, a punch, you could do that as well. You can make this a little narrower if it would fit your punch better. But I want to do it while it's folded in half. So I have my ruler, and then I'm using a silver pencil because this is dark. And what you mark on this, we're going to put it down so nobody will see it. So don't worry about erasing it. If you want to, you can, but we're going to make it work. So this is 3 inches, and we want this center, this part, to be 1 inch. So I'm going to come in and mark it at 1 inch. And then I'm going to mark it at 2 inches. So it's 1 inch on either side. If you want to come this way, you can do that way. Then we want to mark it 1 inch down on both sides. You'll get the idea, I think. I'm trying to make sure it's straight. So I'm going to mark it at 1 inch down here and 1 inch here. Okay. And then let's get our trimmer out, and I'm going to cut them both at the same time so they're exactly the same. So I'm going to go from each marking, and I'm going to go right from the edge of the marking, and I'm going to hold it down with my hand, and I'm just going to cut it off. Okay, and then I'm going to do the other side, this marking to this marking. Just get it right in there, right at the edge of the groove. Okay, so now we have this. Again, you can erase this, but how about if we just glue this on the inside and nobody will ever know. Okay, then we want to do the same thing. I have 2 white pieces, and we're going to create, now this one I did designer series paper. This card I'm going to do white. So if you're going to do designer series paper, hold your designer series paper and your inside layer together, and you could do them at the same time. So I'm going to stack them, and these pieces are 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. And instead of going in 1 inch, I'm going to go in 7/8 of an inch so that we have this little border. So I'm going to get my ruler again, and this time I'm going to use a pencil. I guess the silver would work, but I'll just use a pencil. And we are going to have them laying right on top of each other. And again, if you have designer series paper, you can lay that on top of your white. And I'm just going to come in to 7/8, and then I'm going to do it this way, 7/8. And I know these 7/8 sometimes are a little difficult, so you just count the 1 inch, and then the second largest is a half, the third largest are quarters, so 1, 2, 3, and then the fourth, and then the next one is eighths, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm actually in the wrong place. Oh no, I'm in the right place. I threw myself off there. Okay, and we're just going to mark it like this. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to come down the side and go to 7/8 right here. And then we're going to do this one, 7/8. Okay, and then keeping these on top of each other, we're going to cut through, and you know, this isn't that thick, and even the cardstock wasn't too bad to cut through. We're going to do our same thing. We're going to line up the edges of the markings. Oops, I think I pushed it a little bit. Let's see if we can get this. Okay. And then we'll do this again. Yeah, this is a little bit, I might have to just burnish that a little bit. To get that edge down. Okay, so now we have all of our pieces and we just need to decorate. So I'm going, this is just a little funny. And again, we're going to put this down so that you don't have to erase. You can erase if you want. The other thing I want to do is, before we put this together, I want to use my embossing folder. And we're going to use the Gathering Leaves embossing folder. And I'll get my machine out. And we're just going to emboss these just to add a little bit extra to it. So let me get my machine out. And we're using the number 1 base, and then the number 4. This is your specialty plate for 3D embossing folders. You don't use it on regular embossing folders. And I'm going to line this up right here along the line. We're going to put this down, and then we're going to put this down. And I like to start, I like my sandwich to hang over a little bit so that it's not all going in at once, especially with die cutting. If you have it all lined up at once, when it goes through here, sometimes it makes it very difficult. Let's put that away. Open this up. Isn't that pretty? I probably should have had it go this way, but that's okay. Yeah, I didn't even think about how the leaves are facing, but I think it's fine. We're going to go with it. Okay, so let's put that stuff away, and now we want to just decorate. So, I am going to put this on the outside and this on the inside. And of course, if you're going to stamp the inside, you want to stamp it before you adhere it. I'm not going to stamp anything on the inside. It's kind of small. This is going to be a birthday card, and I'm just going to leave it like this. So let's put this down with our seal. And again, I'm having this facing down so nobody will see it. And I think I got these a little bit funny. So sometimes when you cut, you have these ridges. And I think the last video I did, I said I needed to get a new blades. So I think I need to put new blades in my trimmer. We're just going to lay this so that it's centered. And we don't want it to be crooked. Let me get my tool. I think I put that down a little crooked. This is a tool I have that I got from Creative Memories. It's a sticker remover, and I don't think they sell it anymore. I don't know. I should look. I've had it for probably 30 years. So let's try this again, top to bottom. Okay, good enough. And then this is going to come down here. So let's put that down. And you want to, I center it top to bottom, and then I try to get this lined up right like this. So this is 4 inches. So that looks pretty good, right? Okay, so again, if you have, you can write whatever you want in there or stamp it. And then on this one, I'm going to do this again. All these edges, you could just use your bone folder to straighten them out. And then we're going to put this on. And then I also cut a label from the branching out. So this is the same label I used on this card. And let's put this down first, and then we can stamp and put the label on and kind of embellish it a little bit. So I'm using liquid glue. I like to use liquid glue when I do something on an embossed layer to get all in those nooks and crannies. Okay, so now I have this sentiment. Let me show you what it's from. The Charming Day. It's happy birthday, but I think I want to break it up to 2 words. So I have it on here. I am going to use my masking tape, and I'm going to cover the happy. I'm going to start with birthday. I like to start with the biggest word and then center the other word. And I'm going to put it over on this side a little bit because I am going to add some greenery here like I did. Okay, so I have Mossy Meadow. Stay there. And we'll just do the birthday. The key to this is to take off the tape before you stamp. And then I'll center it toward the right side, toward the bottom. Birthday. And then you want to make sure you clean this really well, because then we're going to do happy, and we don't want any of that ink to get on it. Okay. So now we're just going to do the opposite. I'm going to use the same tape, and we're going to cover birthday. And hopefully not get ink on my fingers. You could use a new piece of tape if you don't want to live dangerously. And then we're going to do the happy. Take this off, and this gets thrown away now. And that looks good. All right, it's over this way a little bit, but I think it's fine. So then this we're going to put here with dimensionals, and then I die cut. So I used a piece of vellum and die cut this, and then this again is the back of that paper, the back of this paper, and we'll just add these. All right, so let me close this up, and I'm going to add it with some glue. So let's actually first, let's first put this down. So we're going to use some dimensionals. I don't always do everything in the same order. I hope the instructions, sometimes I do it on the video one way, and then the order I do on the instructions might be a little bit different, but you get the gist of it. But isn't it a fun card? I thought Priscilla had such a good idea with this, because you see all kinds of flap folds and triangle cards and stuff, and then you find something a little bit different. And again, I didn't see anybody else make this, so I'm giving her the credit. And then we'll do a little bit of glue here, And I am so happy that vellum is back. I don't know if you guys like vellum, but it just adds such a delicate look. And this is a, you know, a good solid vellum. It's not flimsy. It's really nice. Do I want to put a little dot? No. I was going to put a little dot here, but then the card wouldn't open. And then we want to put some of this here. Just like this, a little bit of glue here and there. Very pretty. And one more. All right. And then I thought we would put a bow. So this is Timid Tiger. So we have some Timid Tiger ribbon. You could put some linen thread or some baker's twine. We'll see if this is too big for it, but I thought it'd be nice to get that orange in the ribbon. It might be too big. We'll see. All right, so let's get our ribbon scissors out. I think that's nice. Just where it adds another little pop of color. We'll just get a glue dot and put it on the back here. We'll just put it right down here. Kind of in the way of the birthday, but I think people can see that. And then you could put some bling on it if you want. Not sure I need it. I put it on this one, but I think I'm going to leave it off. You could put some up here if you wanted, but I think this is good. So these are the triangle flap fold cards that Priscilla from Priscilla's Papercrafts designed. And I just used different papers than she did, but it's basically the same card. Very pretty, right? So let's see what we're doing next week. Next week is Thanksgiving, can you believe it? So next week we're doing a double flap triangle fun fold card. So another flap, another triangle, but this one has the double. So I don't even know what this looks like reading the name. So if you want this, you can get this calendar each month. I send it to my email subscribers. So there's a link below that you could subscribe to my email. There's a link for the project sheet. There's a link on my online store if you want any of the products that I use to create these cards. I think they're really beautiful and they would be fun for someone to receive, right? I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving and enjoys some good food and good friendships and fellowship and all of that good stuff. So I will see you here next Friday. Have a great week. Bye.